ice cream for you. I'm glad you made it. What's everybody doing up here?
Dakota and Landon brought Dustin.
Oh, together?
Well, I don't know. He claims he knows them both. So.
I'm going to make him pick a favorite. Okay.
Touches back here, I will help you.
Okay.
Everybody listen!
Hey. What's that thing? There was a commercial for a long time. It's like, what's up? That's terrifying. What? Hello. We are really excited that you are all here tonight. It sounds like that maybe some people brought some friends that it maybe feels like we should meet. So let's start first with Israel. Israel, why don't you come up here?
So, Israel, you're going to follow me over here, my man.
And Israel,
No.
what's your friend's name again? He's not paying attention.
All right, so-
Isaiah, come on up here. I'll just for kicks.
Okay. Everybody say, hi, Isaiah. Isaiah, wave to the crowd.
Isaiah, what'd you do to your arm?
I was wrestling my brother.
Is your brother older or younger? That's valid. Yeah? What's your favorite food?
Pizza.
Pizza? Like pepperoni or plain cheese?
Pepperoni.
That's a solid choice. That's my favorite too. So we have a thing here, as Israel is shaking your pop for you. We have a thing here that if you're new, you get a Mountain Dew. But obviously, we can't just give it to you. We have to chuck it at you. So, he's like, what? Isaiah, why don't you go stand by Ken? He's got his hand up in the air. Because I want, back by Ken there, have him, and do your best to catch it. I know you only got one arm thanks to your brother.
So, Israel, you know the drill, right? Is you're supposed to make the dew. Go from your hand through the air, avoiding the fans and the lights, into Isaiah's hand, okay?
So we want to see your
So
skills.
we're not going to laser beam it because we don't want to hit Melody in the corner there. And we don't want this arcing shot where we have a fan that comes down and hits Addie in the head. So,
Sounds fun.
with that being said, are you ready to throw? Are you ready to catch?
All right, Isaiah's
All right.
ready.
On your marks, get set, go. It was close. I would suggest, Isaiah, don't open it, because that would be so bad. It would be a mess.
Yeah, you'd have to lick the floor. That'd be bad.
Lucas.
Go ahead and have a seat, Isaiah.
You are next. Isaiah, you may sit down. And now a couple questions we got for you. All right. So, what's your favorite color?
Dakota, please put your phone away.
His favorite color is purple. What's your favorite sport? Soccer. You know how much you have to run in soccer and you still like soccer? I am allergic to soccer. I am so sorry. I don't run. But you can do all the running for me, okay?
You should have heard it.
You should have heard
gotta pay
me.
attention.
I called him. So, his name starts with a Luke, ends with an us. Lucas. Don't even go there. All right, everybody say hi, Lucas.
Hi, Lucas.
Lucas, wave. Okay, now it's your turn to receive the dew. Obviously, you're not grabbing it from Israel. You're going to catch it, so go over where Isaiah was. And Isaiah, I got Isaiah, Israel, and Lucas all mixed up. Israel, are you ready to throw?
All right.
Lucas, are you ready to catch? Melody, are you ready to duck? Oh, we have faith that it's not going to hit you.
right.
Awesome. All right,
She survived
on your mark.
once. She can do it again.
Get set, go.
Ah!
Oh, and I heard the wrist pop on that one. So you may
so
be
bad.
seated, Israel. Lucas, as I told Isaiah before, don't open it. It would be very bad.
You're really struggling with names
I'm struggling with
tonight.
names. All right, go ahead.
So we have one more. Dustin, I'm told you know multiple people here, correct? What? So Who do you, I guess, claim to know as who brought you? But you got to pick one. Actually, no, never mind. Just pick one. Yeah, like your favorite. Whoever you think has the better looking ears. I don't know.
Ooh.
Landon.
Lando.
Dustin, we need you up here as well.
So Dustin, you saw the drill, so you need to arise and come up here.
Well, I got some questions for you.
She has to interrogate you for at least 2 questions worth of
Ooh.
it. Two
Yeah,
questions. And they might be tough.
But the first one
They might
doesn't
be okay.
count. Have you ever walked upstairs before?
Yeah.
That looked rough. What school do you go to, Dustin?
Skyview.
Skyview. And they say they don't know you. That you don't know. And yeah,
Listen.
let's see. Have you always lived in Billings? Did you move here from?
Yes, I've always lived here.
Yeah? Always in the Heights?
Yep.
What middle school did you go to?
Medicine Club.
All right. Yes, finally. Okay.
So, you know the drill? So you're going to stand over next to that bald-headed 37-year-old man. Ken, wave your hand so you can identify the bald man in the room.
Oh, I think he can go back a little farther, closer to the door. I have some trust in Landon's arm.
Do you? I don't know if I do. Landon?
Actually, personally, I'd like to see
Now-
Landon do it blindfolded.
Now, as you said before, don't laser beam Melody in the head. Do not hit the lights. Have fun. Yeah. Go ahead and do the countdown for him.
Are you ready, Landon? He's not even listening. Are you ready? All right. Ready, set, go.
Oh, my word.
Obviously had too much faith in Landon's arm.
If it hasn't opened, don't open it, Dustin. It would be bad. It would be so bad. Okay, with that being said, we are going to rise. Rise. Come forth to this front section, and we are going to worship. And with that being said, Amanda, take it.
Hello. Oh, there we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's all walk forward this way. I know you're all hyped up on marshmallows and Jesus candy and who else? By the fire pit. All right, focus, focus, focus. All right. How many of you have gone to camp or youth convention or something similar to it? Okay. How many of you, I know like most of you in this front row actually have gone, so you probably better raise your hands. How many of you, when you worship at camp or youth convention or wherever you go, clap your hands? How many of you jump up and down? How many of you have fun worshiping Jesus? Okay, so did you know that we can actually do the same thing here? Yeah. So, how many of you think you can do that tonight? Should we have some fun worshiping Jesus? Yes. Okay, Thane's with me. I hope the rest of you join in. Yours is the name high above any other. Yours is the kingdom forever you reign. And yours is the power that lifted us out of the grave. Yours is the heart that is beating inside us. Yours is the glory and all of the fame. And yours is the love that you poured down on us. We're rising up to sing your praise to the King Almighty, to the one who saves. Be glory and honor for all our days. With our hands toward heaven and our voices raised to the King Almighty, we give all the praise.
restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, Lord. You are love. You bring light to the darkness. You give hope. You restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. Great are you, Lord. Give life, you are love. You bring light to the darkness. You give hope. You restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. Great are you, Lord. Now the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. And all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. All the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. Breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. Great are you, Lord.
How great you are, God. And we thank you that you give us the breath to breathe. Thank you for giving us life. Thank you for giving us purpose and hope and joy and peace. And God, I just ask that we would stand on those truths that you're a loving God, a caring God, and a personal God for each and every one of us, Lord. And that you loved us so much that you sent your Son to die on a cross for us, to take away our sin, to take away our shame. And God, just help us spread that news and spread that message to those around us that we love and care about, so that they can experience the same love that we do. We love you and we praise you. We give this night to you. In your name we pray. Amen. You may be seated. All right. Listen up. Let's get ready to rumble with the message. So, before I actually start talking about what we're going to talk about, there's one thing that I wanted to clarify with you that was brought up to me by one of your students. And it was a valid concern, and I want to clear the water for anyone who might have the same question. When we talked about this connect business, connecting with one another, connecting with our friends, inviting them to youth group, and I gave you the challenge of bringing 100 students here. And that was putting a challenge out in front of you, asking your leaders to challenge you, and the students said, all right, well, if it does grow to 100 students, what does that mean for me? Because I am not sure that I want 100 students here, because I will just melt away into the crowd, and I will not be seen, and I will not be heard, and I will lose that connection with people. Valid concern, and I want to clear the air. The reason I want 100 students here is not to develop that kind of culture. I want culture to drive students here. I don't want numbers to drive culture. Does that make sense? The culture we're creating here and the atmosphere and the relationships we're creating here is something that I want to keep regardless of how many people are here. Okay? Does that make sense? So everyone's known, everyone's valued, everyone's loved, everyone is special. I'm special ed, but that's okay. But everyone here, well, it's okay. It's okay. We're good. But with that being said, so if it ever grows to 100 students, I'm bringing resources in and I'm bringing people in so that we can keep the same small group atmosphere that we now currently have, because we want to love on you guys and we want to be there for you, and we want to know you, we want to value you, we want to love you. So regardless how big it gets in here, I want it to get big, because this same atmosphere and this same environment of us being close together, I want that to be so toxic that no one can resist it. And like I said before, I want culture to drive us to bigger numbers, but keep the same culture and not let culture be dictated by how many people are here. Everybody get it? Got it? Good. Woo! We have cleared the air of that one. We will make it through. You will survive. All right. What did we talk about last week for who y'alls were here? For what? Living in what? You are not making sense, Israel. What do you got? Living in dead water? Okay. So living water. Move a statement. All right, guys. Understood. Focus. It's all right. You'll make it. So, we talked about living an unexpected life and not being stagnant, pursuing Jesus. Okay, guys. Now, in order to do that, to live an unexpected life that people would turn their heads and say, what's so different about you? Why are you different? I want something that you don't have. You have peace, you have joy, and you have something in your life that I don't have. We didn't really talk about how we do it, and that's what we're going to start into today. And like I said last week, when you have high predictability, you have a low impact, and we want to make a big impact for the kingdom, for our friends, because we want everybody going to heaven. I want all my friends to go to heaven. What's my part in it? So, I'm reading a book, because that's what I do. I read books, or try to read anyways. And it gave me 5 habits I could develop over the next year that would lead someone to believe that I'm different and lead to a life that's questionable, and people start asking questions, and I can start sharing and moving people closer to Jesus. And there's 5 habits on there. They call it the Bell system. If you go to the next slide. 5 habits to create. Blessing one another, eating with one another, listening to each other, listening to God, learning about God, learning about one another, and being sent into the world. And that would be a lot. That would be an hour, 2 hours, 10 hours to actually get through all 5 of them tonight. So we're not going to go there. We're going to do one. And just by on the screen, what do you think I'm going to talk about tonight? Bless, the one that's highlighted, of course. So I got a question for you guys. What does it mean to bless someone? That was, there's some things in here that I want to take a camera and just record what is said and done. And you know what? You know what? We almost need that camera placed over here, pointing at you guys. And then I'm going to just do a bunch of moments with you. But be blessed is what he said, and she confirmed. Zoe. Huh? No. Speak. Listen up, guys. Guys, listen up. So bless you when you sneeze. Do you know what that actually means? What does that mean though when you say bless you? Because there's actually you're cursing people. Wow. Haley. Say what, huh? Right. So I'll explain. I'll clear the air here. Why you say bless you after someone sneezes or coughs? Because what happens is it's a sign of sickness, and you're blessing the person and saying, I'm praying that you are going to be healthy, and we're playing a blessing over you that you're not going to get sick, and that was just a one-time instance, and they're praying health and favor over your life. So, beside the point, so we're on a rabbit trail now. What? Possibly. Okay, anybody else? Okay, we got bless you, you be blessed. Putting your hand on. Then we got the blessing with sneezing. Haven, what do you got? Wow. You have a weird way of blessing people. Abby, do you have a rebuttal? Well, Okay, so I'm going to throw a few out there, okay? You guys have thrown some ideas. Oh, Olivia. Giving what? Listen up, guys. Okay. That's legit. When you get baptized, you're blessed. I would agree. So, to bless someone, that requires a few things of you. And there's a specific thing. It's blessings done with intent and with purpose. Do you think Jesus blessed people? Do you think Jesus blessed people? Yes? So I see him raising the dead. I see him healing blind people. I see him healing leprosy. I see him eating in people's homes. And I see him forgiving sins, which we cannot do, but he can. So I see Jesus blessing people. Now, we all have ideas of how we can bless people. Listen up, guys. Israel. Crew. Listen up. So, rather than go on and on about how I can bless people, I want to read how in one moment Jesus blessed someone and it changed their life. And we're going about before Jesus was crucified and betrayed. He was with his disciples, and they're doing the Passover celebration. They're eating the last meal together. And there was a lot of bickering and quarreling between the disciples of who was the greatest. And in direct response to that, I want to read John 13 to you. And it says, before the Passover celebration, Jesus, listen up, guys. Jesus knew that his hour had come to leave this world and return to his Father. He had loved his disciples during his ministry on earth, and now he loved them to the very end. It was time for supper, Isaac, and the devil had already prompted Judas, son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had given him authority over everything, and that he'd come from God and he would return to God. So, he got up from the table, took off his robe, wrapped a towel around his waist, and poured water into a basin. Then he began to wash the disciples' feet, drying them with the towel he had around them. How many people would think that would be really weird for someone to wash your feet? Wow, there's a lot of people who like their feet washed, obviously. Huh? Is that your job? So like the pedicure. Is it nice? You know, I haven't had a pedicure before, so I couldn't connect with you on this whole experience. So what you're telling me is I'm missing out on an experience. So what I'm hearing is Jesus, like in layman's terms, is Jesus was giving a spiritual pedicure to all his friends. But I want you to understand that it might be a little different back in Jesus' time than it is now. And I'm going to explain why. Guys, please. So, how many of you think they wore tennis shoes back in Jesus' day? No, I don't think so. So, that's actually the closest thing, is they wore something that looked like flip-flops. Sandals, flip-flops. But they had bare portions of your feet were exposed while you were walking. Does everybody agree to that? We don't know what the style was. But, so they had open-toed feet. Now, how many of you think the roads were paved and nice and everything was pristine about the roads that were in Jerusalem at that point? I am sorry to destroy your dreams and hopes, but that was not the case back in the day. So, dirt roads. Guess who traveled on the dirt roads? Horses, cattle, donkeys. Now, who all knows, listen up guys, who all knows after a donkey, cattle, horse, after they travel on this road for so long, and they kind of go down the road, and then they have to use the restroom. How many of you know that probably just happened on the road? Did you think they had a city sanitation crew in Jerusalem that took care of all that? No. So Jesus and his followers were walking in all that. And if it rained, then it was all one big giant soupy mess. So, with Jesus and his disciples, when they got to that room and they were washing his feet, I kid you not, you wouldn't even want to come 10 feet near those feet. Whoa, that's kind of a pun. 10 feet near those feet. Wow, it's good math right there. Anyways, so my point is, the lowliest of the low wash people's feet. The servants of the servants. I mean, I'm talking like the people who, this was their punishment of like, you get to wash feet today. I mean, I could flog you or I could make you wash feet. I mean, that was pretty much where you were at. But Jesus, but this is what Jesus, but see, Jesus, the Son of God, who came from heaven, came down and lived with us, washed his disciples' feet. Do you think Jesus got anything out of washing feet? Honestly, was there like a reward for washing feet? No, he's not weird like you, Isaac. Zoe. But did he receive anything from it? Okay, did he receive anything from the disciples? No, disciples are like, feet! And they were not clean feet. He loved them, he didn't love their feet. But what I'm getting out of it, Jesus didn't get anything out of this. This was a lowly task. But he had purpose and intent for it. And I want you to read with me, follow along, because Jesus had a talk with one of his disciples, Peter. Listen up, guys. He had a talk with Peter because Peter didn't want him washing his feet. And they're like, why are you doing this, Jesus? And he answers them. We jump down to verse 12, and it says, after washing their feet, he put on his robe again and sat down and asked, do you understand what I was doing? I don't think they did. You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right, because that's what I am. So, even washing their feet, he still was teacher and Lord to them, and he fully claimed that. And since I, the Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, listen up, you ought to wash each other's feet. I have given you an example to follow. Do as I have done to you. So, he's saying wash their feet. Do you think he was just meaning that every time they went into a room or an inn, they were supposed to like have this foot washing party? Like literally? I'm hearing a maybe not over here by Jace. What else could that possibly mean? What was Jesus trying to say here? Haven. Actually, that's good, but Haven, you had something. No, thank you? But what'd you say, Israel? Seriously. And why was he telling them to take care of each other? Well, that's a valid point. Abby, what do you think? We're all humans, and we all want to be on the same level, right? We want to be able to talk to each other. Haven. So, no, regardless of what you thought of people and where they came from, listen up, guys, because this is a good point. So regardless, Haven said, regardless of where people are at, we're called to bless them because they're brothers and sisters. Would you guys all agree that Jesus put himself in that position to lead by an example and saying that we should bless one another even though sometimes we may not get anything out of it? Isn't that the whole idea of a blessing? How many of you guys do good things for good people in hopes that they'll do something for you? You can raise your hand if you want because I do it all the time. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Is that what Jesus is talking about here? Do you think Jesus was trying to say that? I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. He was saying, I'll scratch your back and you don't have to do anything for me. So, that's beside the point. Now, couple things that I want to pull from this story on blessing people. Three items. Know your purpose of when you're blessing someone. Jesus had a purpose when he was washing their feet. He was teaching them how to serve one another. What is your purpose when you go to bless someone? Do you have a specific purpose, or are you just like, just bless it all? Or are you saying, do I need to encourage someone? Do I need to lift someone up? Do I need to provide for someone? Do I need to make someone's life easier? The list goes on and on. Are we specific and are we clear on what we're doing? The second thing I have in when you're blessing someone is, do you actually know the person you're blessing? Because how many people would we say we're going to bless them in different ways because they have different needs? See, if I'm the person being blessed, I actually want to be blessed. So that means that you got to know who I am and what I need. Someone who's a multimillionaire doesn't need me giving them $2. That is not going to bless that person. But it may bless the person down the street that's hurting, that's broken, that doesn't have a home. So we need to know who we're blessing. And the third and final thing, which we have touched on, is don't ask for anything in return. Because that's what the world does. And remember, we're trying to live unexpected lives to point people to Jesus. And if it's all it's about is us doing good things so we can get something, that's what the world expects us to do. But that's not what Jesus is calling us to do. So, final point that I'm going to wrap up is I was blessed today at 5:30 this morning. So, yes, I was up at 5:30 this morning, and I went to breakfast with one of my fellow engineer colleagues from Tech. He's a lead engineer, but that's beside the point. So, I went to breakfast with this guy. We went to Stella's. Do everybody know where Stella's is at? So, awesome breakfast, right? So, I go in with my buddy. We've only been there, so I go there on Wednesdays, and I've been there 4 Wednesdays, right? So there's not anybody that really knows me there quite yet. They haven't kicked me out of the restaurant. That's why I know that they don't know me yet. So, with that being said, I walk into the restaurant, and usually we have a specific place. We're kind of like getting older or something, and we have this specific spot that we always used to sit and talk. But that spot was taken. There was stuff there, so I'm like, okay, we'll move to another spot. So, not 2 minutes before we sat down in another spot, the waitress across the room comes over and says, "Why are you sitting over here?" I said, "Well, our spot looks like it's been taken." And she said, "No, I've prepared it for you." So this person who doesn't know me, doesn't know my friend, has probably seen us a total of 2 times. What she told me is, "I saw you coming out into the driveway into Stella's. I saw you guys pulled up. I knew who you were, knew where you were going to sit. I'm going to set out the menus, the coffee, and everything, and spread it out on this table, and it's all set for you to go. You got your coffee, and I know what kind of creamer you guys like, and it's all set up here, ready to go." And then we start ordering our food, and the waitress is like, "Well, you're ordering eggs. I remember that you had salsa the last couple times, and then I'm going to go grab and get you some. It's in the back. I have some saved for you." Would anyone expect that kind of service out of a restaurant? Honestly? If your mom was a restaurant owner, yes. But would you get that? And this is 100% true. So in short, I was blessed today by that person, and I was in a kind of a low place, and my spirits were lifted. Can we do that same? No, now, we're not all waitresses, and we don't have those kind of opportunities, but I do believe we have different opportunities to bless one another and be intentional. So my challenge is to you, be intentional, know who you're blessing, be selfless, and have a purpose while you're blessing. Next week, we get to practice this. We're going to the rescue mission. Has anybody been to the rescue mission with us while we were serving? So, what's happening is here's another thing. When you bless someone, people start noticing, because the rescue mission called me and asked us to help. For the last 2 years, I called them and see if I could help them. This year they called me in advance, asking if we could help. When you bless people, it comes back around. So, next week, we're going to the rescue mission. We're going to go there and serve and bless people and help them get set up for their holiday season. We're going to be cleaning. We're going to be organizing stuff. We're going to be packaging stuff, and we're going to be setting stuff out. Now, what I need you guys to understand is we're there to bless people. We're not there to bless ourselves. We're there to serve. Can everybody do that with me next week? Next Wednesday. Next Wednesday. Be here at 6 o'clock. Everybody say 6 o'clock. Wheels roll out on the bus at 6:15. We go to the rescue mission. We serve there. and we come back around 8:15. Everybody get it? Got it? Good. So, with that being said, hold on. There's one other opportunity that we're going to bless the janitor here at the church. Because when we leave this place tonight, I want us to do a sweep over for the next 2 minutes and make sure there's no garbage, no trash, because this is our building for the night, and we're going to respect it. All right? So on the count of 3, I want you to all do a sweep in here, make sure there's no trash, and then we're going to go out and hang out, all right? Let's go.